In Warsaw, in an undisclosed location, this Belarusian police defector scrolls through pictures of some of his former colleagues' work.
They had orders to hurt protesters so badly that someone who was detained one day would not be physically capable of protesting again the next day, to beat him so hard they wouldn't be able to go outside.
AZAROV got out, but many police officers fully support the dictatorship, he says, whilst others feel trapped.
They've got a file on every police commander detailing crimes he allegedly committed. That's how the authorities keep them under control. If you don't follow orders, you go to jail.
This justice system is currently holding over 400 political prisoners, human rights groups say. Among them, the journalist Roman Protasevich, who looks bruised in this apparently forced confession video, and Stepan Latipov, who tried to cut his own throat in court. Latipov survived. But a week earlier, a teenage protester, Dmitry Stakhovsky, had killed himself just after being questioned by police. These recent events have galvanized the thousands of Belarusians who've fled to neighboring countries. Here, some of those now living in Poland are protesting at the border with their homeland.
This action is to get the European Union to introduce sanctions against Lukashenko, economic sanctions.
They set up a camp.
We cannot wait any longer. We want urgent measures now because the situation is already just awful. They're slowly suffocating us. People are dying one by one. People are being tortured.
Joining the student protesters, a would-be political heavyweight, PAVEL LATUSHKO, a former ambassador and minister who defected and is now one of the leading figures of the opposition in exile.
There should be an important and clear signal to Belarusian society that the European Union doesn't only make statements expressing solidarity, but also takes concrete steps.
And he has concrete ideas about what those steps should be.
They should stop trading in oil and petroleum. That sector is full of dirty money. And also end all trade with the potash producer Belarusian, which is run by one of Lukashenko's closest friends, the godfather of his son. There have been severe repressions of workers there. Virtually all strike leaders were fired, many of them jailed.
Meanwhile, the city of Berlin provided extra security for the most famous Belarusian opposition leader, SVIATLANA TSIKHANOUSKAYA, who fears for her safety all the more since Roman Protasevich was pulled off the very same Ryanair flight that she had travelled on just days earlier. The candidate, seen by many as the real winner of last August's presidential election in Belarus, still tirelessly tours Europe, making as many public appearances as possible to rally support.
I just need all the help I can get, however brazen that may sound.
TSIKHANOUSKAYA also favours sanctions.
Economic sanctions are what would hit the regime hardest. The propagandists try to spread a message that sanctions would just make the people suffer. Well, the people are already suffering. People are rotting in prisons. People are afraid to just live.
Kiev is another haven for Belarusian political exiles. One of them, IHAR TYSHKEVICH, is now a researcher at this think tank. He doesn't believe the EU realistically can apply effective sanctions.
The more sanctions the EU applies against Belarus, the stronger Russia's influence over the country gets. If that is the aim of EU sanctions, then why not just tell Putin right from the start, Belarus is yours? If the EU has other aims, then they should rather be thinking about how to put pressure on Russia.
TYSHKEVICH fled Belarus 13 years ago, persecuted for his anti-Lukashenko activism. Though he doesn't expect action against the regime to work today, he does see change on the horizon.
The system will change. It's unavoidable because society has changed and business has changed. So either Lukashenko tries to retain his influence but accepts big changes, or he shares power with someone else, or he'll be ousted, whether it's by a revolution or a palace coup.
But that, of course, could take a few years. whilst last August, many young Belarusians had dared to believe that Lukashenko would be gone within days.